matchups. Right side, leverage over the top, but Sparks making it.
One to his right, taking the shot downfield for the post, but there's two defenders in the air. It doesn't matter.
We're at the tail end of the season. Hard-fought battles all the way through. K9 getting their revenge on title in the playoffs, and Shinigami. I think they didn't polar opposites win in against Shinigami in regular season as well.
Yeah, so
Or
they beat
both
them.
both teams got their revenge.
Yeah, they beat them in the regular season in the first game of the whole season, and title ended up beating Cloud9 in the regular season. But at the end of the day, the regular season doesn't matter when it comes to playoffs. And both of these teams came up huge when they needed to, and both of them are here on the final stage to give the crowd what they want, a champion.
Yeah. And we'll see at the end of the at the end of the game here's who's gonna take the ring home. And I believe there was talk about Shinigami. We'll see when we get in game. I don't want to say anything quite yet because I don't know if it's actually true or not. But let's look at the stats real quick for basically the season for both of these teams, and you can see Shinigami is almost top 3 in almost every single stat.
Yeah.
In points for, points against, their offense. The only part of their offense that wasn't doing that well is the run game, and K9's even worse than that. But I mean, you can see definitely with the passing game, both these teams are top tier, especially K9 with Jipper and Dupe being able to find each other through most of the season.
So both of these teams are like really high-powered offense when it comes to getting the ball down the field to their receivers. They have a lot of trust in their receivers where they're able to throw it up and make a play, and they know that the receiver has their back. So when you're looking at these stats and you see these crazy big numbers, I mean, it just goes to show, you know. But the biggest stat that I want to take note on is their defensive sacks for and against. 136 sacks, and they've only let up 35, which is a huge number, especially on how big the defensive line is when it comes to the O-line. So for them to be only letting up that many is a credit to how good MVP uses his pocket.
Yes.
And then when it comes to the interception and stuff, you know, they're at 59 and K9 is at 72. They got them by double-digit numbers. So when you're going to be throwing against this team, you have to realize that, okay, these guys could get an interception whenever they need to. MVP is going to have to really put the passes on the money at all times.
And we are underway in the final match in Season 2 as Sparks is going to try to take the return pass at 30, but not really going to get anywhere. Regis coming in to make the tackle before the 25, all the way back to the 23, and Jipper and K9 are going to have a long way to go to reach the end zone.
Yeah, that's a great start for their special team.
Jipper's going to take a run on first play and has a lot of room as Regis is going to get the tackle again, but not before a gain of 17. They're already moving it to the 40.
Yeah, I like the start from Jipper there, using his legs. You know, when Jipper runs, he's a dominant player, like high-end caliber.
Yeah, as we saw with really good moves right there to get another first down. Let's see what Jipper decides to do here. Will he take another run? He fakes it this time, and they were trying to find the leak play. He has Sparks. Gonna go to him over the center, and Sparks will get the first down and more as he goes to the right side. and he brings it to the 29. So K9 in 3 plays have already brought it to Shinigami's side.
Yeah, that was a very tough look for Shinigami, especially when MVP picked up the leak and they still sent 3 and Jipper had all that time to make a play. They're going to really have to get through this line and stop Jipper, or it's going to get real bad real soon.
Baus getting the sack to make it 2nd and 11 as Jipper rolls to his left. Trying to step up, he's going to take the run again as Baus makes the tackle lying on the ground.
Baus just got gifted a tackle there because it looked like Jipper was about to take another 10-yard gain.
But now it is 3rd and 8. Quick pass to Dootmean. Dootmean on that right side, getting it within the 10. All the way to the 8-yard line. 19-yard gain, and they're already in the red zone. 1st and goal. Jipper running up the center, going to that right side, and Pokey doing a good job holding that edge, making sure Jipper doesn't get into the end zone.
Yeah, that was a huge play by Pokey to slide off of Dootmean and get that tackle.
Oh, and MVP gets around the block. He did a step back to make sure the shield didn't touch him.
So 3rd and goal. Let's see what they could do.
Quick pass out to Dootmean. And Dootmean slides out of bounds before making the dive. So it is 4th and goal, and Shinigami with a chance to make a goal line stand. Jipper left side, and he finds Sparks in the sandwich.
The sandwich play is it's a tough play to guard because you have 2 people. You could just throw it up, and if it's short, you got your running back. If it's deep, you got your wide receiver, and you just put the corner in a bad position, and it's tough to guard. And they were able to come up huge right there.
Yeah, K9 with a very good offensive drive there. It almost looked like it was going to stall out at the very end as Shinigami turned up their defense, but K9 able to convert into 7 points.
So Shinigami ended up getting stopped roughly in the same area where K9 got stopped on that kick return. Now let's see what MVP and the boys could do on this offensive drive.
So MVP going to start out with the run. So both teams not really known for their run game, although Jipper does make quite a few good runs. It looks like they want to start out both games, both drives, I should say, with runs as a pass going out to Mai to get the 1st down.
Yeah, so both of these quarterbacks know that this is a big game, and they need to run the ball. The running the ball opens up a lot of passing options for your team down the road.
Oh, as Ulysses gets the sack, MVP kind of stepped up into that. Baus did have the block and opened up that lane on the left side, but MVP came too close. MVP finding room up there now as he gets it out to the left to Pokey, only getting 7 of those yards back, so 3rd and 14.
Yeah, that was a good look by MVP, cutting the yards in half a little bit, and now it gives them a better look this drive.
And plenty of time for MVP, but he has to drop back. Oh, and a missed catch by Mai. I don't know if that was slightly overthrown, but I think Mai just might have missed that one.
Yeah, I think the dash tech got to Mai right there. It looks like he slingshot back and just barely missed that catch.
MVP going for it all. That looks like a pick to me, and it is to Dootmean.
So I like to say this about Dootmean. Whenever you give him an interception, it feeds him. It gives him like this adrenaline rush that I really don't see from a lot of other players. So now that he just got that pick, he's going to be a scary sight.
And Jipper going to be faking his roll, going to the right, having to back up. Quick throw as Sparks makes the catch and 2 people dive. So there's a lot of room. Can they get that right side?
K9's downfield blocking.
Vortex.
Yep.
That might be, this is a touchdown.
That's a tutty.
This is a touchdown. Sparks with his 2nd touchdown of the game.
You can't make mistakes like that against K9, especially with how good they block running down this field. if you are going to try and get a big play to tackle him, you have to make sure you're standing on your feet, because if you dive, you take yourself out of the play, and stuff like that happens where he just goes all the way down the sideline for a nice touchdown.
Yep, 2 people tried to make the big play and get the interception, but ultimately they both just ended up selling, as Shinigami has a good return here, finding a little bit of room. Oh, if he got away from Jipper, he would have had that right side wide open.
Yeah, that was looking really dangerous for K9 right there. If he was just able to make Jipper miss, he had that clear vision.
His MVP runs for 7 yards.
So Shinigami just needs to come into this drive, and they need to get points on the board to stay in this game. Even though it's early in the game, with a high power offense like K9 has, it could get really difficult to stay in it.
Yeah, you never want to be down against K9. Of course, it almost seems like it's always going to happen with how good their team is. But once K9 has that lead, they tend to hold on to it for the rest of the game.
Absolutely.
MVP rolling out to his right, might have... Oh, he's just going to throw this one away.
That's a good throwaway. You throw that away, you get to the next down. You don't want to throw anything that is like contested or take a sack. 3rd and 1 is an easy first down for a lot of players.
Well, MVP does make a move and does get the first down. So 1st and 10, almost the end of the first quarter. And Shinigami is on the 30 looking to close this gap. MVP with time throws it to the left side. Mean closing in on it. But Pokey does make the catch and gets to the 5 yards.
Yeah, that was great placement by MVP. Pokey was able to attack the ball without having Dude right on him.
MVP throws it to Scene. And Scene gonna take it within the 20 at the 15. And
Now
start of the second quarter, can Shinigami put this one in the end zone? MVP running. Can he find it? Oh, he dives forward, but just barely doesn't make it in.
Yeah,
13-yarder run.
MVP showing those legs, man, showing that he could do it too. And that was almost a huge play from him.
MVP getting pushed back and throws this one away. Might have had Scene there in the back of the end zone if he puts that up high enough.
Yeah, I know, but when you got those defenders in your face like that, it's very hard to throw a ball right in the chest for his wide receiver.
And MVP cuts inside to dive in for the touchdown.
That was great moves. That was great moves. I mean, he was looking real smooth in that pocket right there and was able to just make a man miss and take that one in for 6.
Yeah, it was really dangerous at the very beginning of that play as they allowed Chicken to just get right through and put pressure on MVP, but MVP stayed cool and was able to avoid 3 people to get that score. But now Shinigami's defense really needs to step up and prevent another scoring drive from K9.
I mean, Sparks has been looking like Jipper's new favorite wide receiver. He's been doing it all for him so far.
And a good tackle from Vortex as Regis had missed the dive to get the sack. Jipper going to be rolling out to his right. Across the center of the field, finds Vanilla. And that is Vanilla's first target of the day. No, second target of the day.
That was a nice look there from Jipper, sending Vanilla on the in route and then like faking the out and putting it right to Vanilla.
And a sack from Bouse, finding Jipper in the backfield, 4th and 12. And if Shinigami can get this stop, this is going to be really huge, not only to try and close the score, but just for the mental of being able to stop K9. Across the field, wide open, Scene just loses Vanilla.
Yeah, you can't do that. You just cannot, especially with getting a 4th down on K9. It's so huge. You have to play tight on those guys or you're going to you're gonna regret it.
And Jipper able to step up into the pocket, finding the smallest of gaps, and throws it away. But even if you're not playing tight to the defender, with Jipper getting pushed back like that, you got to at least play the first down marker.
Exactly.
He was about 10 yards away from the first down marker, and it's like, you can't let that happen. As Jipper throws quickly, and Pokey getting the pick.
I don't know if there must have been some type of miscommunication there, because it looked like he almost tried to fake the out and go up, and Jipper was throwing for the out as Dootman was cutting. So hopefully, on their behalf, they try to get this ball back, but this puts Shinigami in a great spot getting ball at half.
Yeah. Shinigami, I wouldn't try for an end zone play here yet. They're going to play very tight coverage. So comebacks and a couple of runs should be your focus right now to try and drain some of this clock in the second quarter. That way, even if you do score, you're not going to allow K9 to have enough time to get points on the board as well.
Yeah, I want to go back to that last play where he threw the comeback to my great reaction time on that pass, because it was a little bit over him and he was able to snap back and grab that before it went into CB's hand on K9.
Now let's see what Shinigami do here. They fake the run. MVP, quick pass out to Scene, who's wide open. He has a lane and finds the end zone. And this game, pending the extra point, is all going to be tied up.
That was some great downfield blocking by, I believe, Pokey. He was able to get Scene the edge, and he was able to make a man miss and score that easy touchdown. And just like that, 14-14. And, that's what happens when you make a mistake. With good teams, they're going to make you pay.
But now you can't let anything over the top for K9, because K9 can drive down the field very quickly. And even though you tie this game back up, you got the momentum. K9 has been through this before, and they can kill a team's momentum very quickly, as Sparks trying to find a lane but not able to after getting 20 yards on the pass.
Yeah, Sparks is having an incredible start to this game. I mean, he's almost at 100 yards in 4 receptions.
Looking for Dootmean on the side, but that's going to be overthrown and out of bounds.
Definitely a good look from those two. I feel like if Jipper was able to lead Doot a little more up the field, I believe he had the leverage on that outside.
And Vanilla on the left side on the out route. And I don't know what C was doing there on the dive, allowing Vanilla to get more yards than he probably should have.
Yeah. They need to relax on the tackling and just focus on, containing them in. They don't need to dive and make a hero play. They have teammates to help them out.
As Regis gets that spin move sack. With a minute left to go in the second quarter, Jipper looking to put K9 in front again. And pressure. Jipper gonna take the run and gets it within the 10 at the 7.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might have been Bond, but he came up and laid a nice block and was able to get Jipper that first down.
Jipper rolling to that right side, has a lot of room, gonna look for the end zone and finds it. K9 taking the lead right back.
Nice little slide dash by Jip to juke Pokey out of his cleats there and score that touchdown.
And the kick is up and good. So Shinigami are going to have 43 seconds to respond. So I don't know what really would be the smarter play here, because of course you want to be able to put points on the board, so it even if you don't make it to the end zone, you can kick that field goal and then get the ball back.
Yeah.
But putting a touchdown and tying the game back up and then being able to get the ball back, the mentality aspect of that one is a lot more appealing.
Yeah, it definitely would be huge on their players. They would have momentum going into half because obviously they just scored, and to top it off, you're getting the ball back. But this drive, you want to make it where no matter what happens, you're getting points, right?
Yes, but it's the mentality of, are we going for the field goal or are we going for the touchdown?
Yeah.
Because if they're going for the field goal, which it kind of looks like they are, they're taking a little bit more of the run plays, which they only have 18 seconds. They don't want to waste too much time and not be able to line themselves up.
Yeah, one sack could ruin all their plans. If they take a big sack here.
And he's going to look for Mai, but it's a dangerous pass. But Mai coming up, huge 33-yard gain towards the end zone, just outside the 10 at the 11. 10 seconds left to go. And MVP is going to take the run. 7-6. They're not calling timeout. 3, 2. They do get a play called, but they're not going to go for a field goal. They're going to go for the end zone.
They're going for the end zone. This puts a lot of pressure on their back right here.
Big pass, and Mai is just outside. He catches it at the 1.
I can't tell if that was just a little bit too under, but it almost looked like if he was able to high point that on the pylon, they would have been able to score that touchdown. But if it was short, Sparks came up with a huge play to stop that touchdown before it happens. But going into the stats, I mean,
incredible.
These guys are going at it right now. Both 11 for 16 and 10 for 12. Sparks having 2 touchdowns already. Jipper took one in with his legs. MVP with 2 touchdowns. Scene taking it in. I mean, incredible half for these two teams right here.
Yeah, and you can see Shinigami Lion getting quite a few more sacks, 4 times more sacks than K9 right now. But K9 has that lead mainly because of their receiving core. As we've seen before, as we said before the game, it's going to be Shinigami's line versus K9's receiving core. And right now, K9's receiving core is winning that battle.
Yeah, and it's just the pressure when you see those like 3 players out there. You want to challenge them, but at the same time, you really can't.
Pokey making the grab, getting it to the 39. Now MVP taking another run, bringing it up 5 yards.
Yeah, we need to see more of that from MVP. I think if he starts running the ball and making K9 play into his game, it will wear them out in a sense.
And that was a good tackle right there to stop him from getting another run. So 3rd and 5, 4-man rush. He's going to have to get this one out quick. Finds Mai over the center of the field and dashes between Vanilla and Duke to get a few more yards.
That was a very good pass there by MVP. Making Scene do a quick out in because they seen the 4-man.
And Mai double covered as MVP takes another run. I think he wanted to look for Mai there again on that post. MVP pushed straight back. He's got to throw this one away.
Yeah, Ulysses got right through that line like it was nothing. I mean, he absolutely split the gap and was right there in front of MVP.
And MVP does have a little bit more time this time, trying to go over the top and finds Pokey. 35-yard pass, and that puts them at the 2.
I mean, that was a great pass by MVP. He put it
And a
behind
good
Duke.
dive from MVP right there, as I thought that was a tackle from behind, but the dive from MVP just pushes him out of reach and is able to get into the end zone.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you want to do when you get the ball at half. You want to be able to go down that field and score the ball, tie it up, and now if your defense can come up huge and make a stop here, you have an opportunity at taking this lead.
Now on the return, Jipper trying to find that edge, gets it to the 35. Jipper running it up the right for 4 yards.
And the weak side run, it's hard to defend sometimes, especially if you don't have a guy sitting in that gap.
Jipper dropping back, throwing short to Dupmean on that comeback. 3rd and 1. I would bring a 4-man right here to try to put a little bit more pressure on Jipper, as Jipper tries to take a run and Vortex able to get around that edge and stop him.
Yeah, there's some players that you need to put a shield on, and Vortex is one of those players because he's able to make stops like that.
Jipper trying to find some room on that left side. Short pass to Dupmean again. Dupmean running it up the field to the 41.
There's great patience by Jipper. He waited. He made sure which receiver had more leverage, and he was able to hit Duke on that in route.
And Jipper going to take a 2-yard run up that left side. So 2nd and 8. And if K9 score here, this is going to be very difficult for Shinigami, because it'll force them to have to score on their next drive. And if depending how much time they give K9, it would be an easy win for K9 if their drive takes a little bit too long.
And just like that, we see Scene diving at Vanilla on this comeback, and he had another guy there. All he had to do was just stay on his feet and trap him. But just like that, they give up the first down.
Jipper has all the time in the world and is taking the run, getting that first down, a spin move, bringing it down to the 15. That was way too much time. So it looks like K9's line has made that adjustment in the 3rd quarter, like I brought up earlier, as Regis gets through just barely. I think Jipper angled the slide to the left a little bit too shallow.
A little too shallow, but I mean, that's a huge play, especially this close to the end zone.
And a good tackle from Pokey as Dupmean makes the catch for 3.
Yeah, see, and that's just how easy it is. Pokey didn't have to dive. He was just right there. He made the tackle, and, he didn't cost up any extra yards.
Jipper rolling left. 3rd and 14 across the center of the field, and it's picked! MVP!
So that was
Getting
a little
the
comeback.
pick on the 3-yard line. And he just came back a little bit too much. Oh, and a safety!
Oh, that is the worst case scenario. That right there is the worst case scenario. They give K9 the ball with a 2-point lead, and if K9 goes down and score, they would take a 2-possession lead. That is just unfortunate, especially after a big interception like that.
Both QBs made fantastic plays for their team right there, as MVP gets the pick, but Jipper gets the sack and almost getting a safety himself as he throws this one away.
Yeah, it's starting to look like these lines are giving each other a run for their money, because they are getting through quick.
And Jipper dives for the first down. I think you got to put more pressure on Jipper. You got to send the 4-man. Like, I know the K9 receiving core is strong, but Jipper has thrown 2 picks already.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that, especially in a big game like this.
If you give Jipper too much time, he's gonna find the open receiver. They're gonna get open at some point. You gotta bring the 4-man. You can't just keep sending 3.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that if these receivers have one-on-one, they're gonna be able to make a man miss.
Oh, and a pick again! Scene!
K9 needs
went
to
for it all.
really relax on offense. They're throwing contested passes that it doesn't need to be done.
And Scene went for the suicide defense play to come up big. Instead of going for the for sure tackle, he goes for the pick.
Yeah, and he puts his team in a good field position to possibly take this lead with a field goal or with a touchdown.
Now MVP stepping up, going left. Gonna run this one as Jipper makes a good open field tackle, limiting MVP to 5 yards. As we start the 4th quarter, final quarter of the season with K9 up by 2. MVP rolling out right. Short pass out to the left, and Pokey, Duke misses the dive. Pokey on the left side gets it in.
The dives are going to get you. The dives are going to get you. You have to stay on your feet. I mean, Duke knew that he was out of range, and he dove and cost his team a touchdown right there.
And they put themselves up by 5. Now Shinigami, all they need to do is get another stop and get another touchdown in to go up by 2 possessions.
Yeah, K9 season is on the line with this drive right here.
Jipper getting pushed back. And usually K9 returns are at least go to the 30, but getting all the way back to the 23. Jipper under a little bit of pressure, a couple of dives, but finding Sparks, he went for it all. They're kind of getting a little bit desperate, but
yeah, that was an unbelievable play, especially on first down. I mean,
he trusted Sparks with that one. As Jipper finds his way through, unbelievable in the pocket as MVP makes the tackle after a 15-yard gain.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how he got out of that. I really don't. It almost looked like he teleported because the way that they were trapping him right there was just unbelievable.
And Scene makes the tackle. Scene did a good job right there to make sure he got that tackle. He didn't go for the dive again to try and put the dagger in. Jipper under a little bit of pressure, weaving his way, and a sack from Bouse.
That's a huge sack from Bouse right there, putting him at 3rd and 23, in which could be the final drive for K9.
Jipper rolling to his left, 3rd and 23. Center of the field finds Vanilla to shorten it up for a 4th and 7.
All right. This right here is the biggest 4th down of the game for Shinigami. If they could stop this, they might put the icing on the cake here.
Pushing Jipper back. Center of the field, and Sparks just gets the first down.
Sparks let that ball come right to him, and he knew that if he catches it, he's got the first. That was a smart play.
And Jipper running it up for 4. And after that very risky play to Sparks at the beginning of the drive, both teams playing very safe in terms of tackling and play calling.
Yeah, because you cannot make a mistake in the 4th quarter. That is, you have no chance of like getting it back. This is your last drive basically.
And Vortex gets the sack there. But playing it safe, it's like it allows the door to open for a larger play from the other team. It's who is going to make that move first. Who's going to look for the big play? As Scene tried to look for it, but Vanilla gets the catch and gets into the end zone.
That was an absolute dime by Jipper. It was his guy or no guy. And again, another great pass by Jipper to go and take a 3-point lead. So Shinigami has to score if they want to win. And if they want to just take it to OT, all they need is 3.
2 minutes left to go. I mean, they have to make this drive last, but you have to make sure that you get points out of it. Because if you go under a minute and the ball is turned over, that is basically game, even with all 3 timeouts. MVP taking the run up the center, gaining 8 yards, 2nd and 2.
They just got to make sure that they play level-headed football right here. You don't want to do anything that could cost you the game in this stage of the game.
And this is where the clock management comes in. MVP finds a way through. They all got through. I don't know if there was supposed to be blocking on that play, but every single line from K9 was through.
Yeah, I'm really confused right there because exactly what you said. They all got through, but it looked like they were just going to start downfield blocking without blocking those guys.
MVP rolling back to his right, getting pushed back, going to throw this one away.
That's a smart throw.
If he was able to step up there, he had seen on that corner route. I think it was a post corner. MVP taking another run, making it 3rd and 3. And MVP is taking his time picking these plays, making sure the clock runs down.
You want to waste as much time as you could.
They're just outside of range, though. They're just outside of range of the field goal.
Yep. So you want to waste as much time as you could, but you want to make sure you get this first down.
MVP has room on that right side and diving for the first down. Smart play there. And can K9 make the stop? They're through. They get to him, and he throws it away in time. But a 4-man rush. K9 is doing such a good job with the rush now.
Now, I am curious on what K9's thought process is when they're using their time, if they're going to use their timeouts or not.
And it looks like MVP kind of just wants to center it.
I mean, it would be the smart play.
It does leave that option open, but you're also wasting precious time that could be used to try and get closer to get an end zone play, and it's 4th and 1 and they're going for it. Jipper has gotten through before, and quick pass out to Pokey. Staying calm under this pressure in a 4th and 1. So first play, I'm thinking based on what they were doing before, MVP is going to run this to the right. No, he's going to run it left. And looking for the open lane over there. 2nd and 4, 28 seconds left to go.
This is an absolute nail biter. 100%.
They might just go for the win. I don't think they're going to go for the field goal. I think they're just going to go for the win.
The time is ticking. I don't know exactly which teams were using their timeouts, but they line up in this 4-3.
We had timeouts set up, right? Because that might be a problem. And MVP dives in for the touchdown.
That was a great move.
Left to go.
Great move by MVP right there. They needed to make a huge play, and he stepped up in big time.
And that puts them up by 4, so K9 have to score a touchdown. All Shinigami has to do is contain them on this kickoff and contain them for a Hail Mary pass. All they have to do is play wide here. If they play wide on the kick return, which they do, they hold them in that right side as Jipper gets tackled at the 35. 13 seconds.
So now this is where K9's receivers are huge because
they will play this short to begin with. They're gonna do a comeback right here to Vanilla. Oh no, they don't. As they go for that left side, I thought for sure Vanilla was gonna do a comeback there to put them in 50 range.
Yeah, I'm very
They
surprised
still
on
have
that.
they still have time to do so. They can get it to that first down marker. Quick pass, do mean, gonna dive out of bounds, so they
Okay.
are now in 50 range. And he doesn't have to step fully up to the line.
Now this is the biggest question now. Does Shinigami send 4 to push Jibber back, or do they trust their guys up front?
They should be sending 4.
I think
don't know why
absolutely they should.
but they don't. They're gonna just do complete coverage. As Jibber gets pushed back, he's not in 50 range.
Oh, he's getting the
now
50
he
range.
is. They got that right side open. Oh, end zone!
So
And it's over!
it is
Shinigami
overthrown.
win! It was just over everyone. I think
Shinigami.
possibly somebody could have caught it in the back of the end zone, very back, but everybody was pushed forward.
They were
'cause
all
didn't wanna
pushed
lose
forward.
spot.
They didn't want to give up the spot, absolutely, and they were all forward, and the ball goes right over into the stands. That is unfortunate for K9, making Shinigami the Grid Iron GFA Season 2 champions. And, I mean, that was the moment. That was like you couldn't line it up any differently. That was like the moment of truth. And Shinigami coming from the RSL all the way up to the GFA and taking the final game with 35-31 over K9.
They won it all. And this was a team victory. Like, looking at the stats, MVP does get the MVP with 3 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns. And with 245 yards in the air, 121 on the ground. But looking at all the stats, everybody was making plays.
Everybody. I mean, that was a team game right there from all 7 of those players. MVP had an interception. Pokey had an interception. Scene had an interception. You got Baus, 3 sacks. Vortex, 2. Regis, 2. I mean, big plays on defense, big plays on offense. Phenomenal.
And I don't know if we want to get MVP in here to talk about the interview. But an incredible game. It came down to the last possession. That's how you want to end a season.
Yeah, you can't ask for anything different. You really can't.
Let's go! Let's go!
MVP.
MVP. I tried telling everybody from day one, man. Y'all ain't listen. Y'all slept on me. Slept on the whole team. This is the result that happens, man, when y'all sleep on somebody.
MVP. I want to go through going down that final drive, knowing that you could either score to win this game or take a field goal to possibly go into OT. What was going through your guys' head?
What was going through my head was exactly this. I know that I had the better line, and I knew what we had to do. Run the clock down, run the ball down their throats, get to the end zone, and put them away. And look, you seen what the line did. The line took care of them, was push blocking them 5 yards down the field, bullying them. So credit to the line, man. Credit to the whole team. We all stepped up. They followed my game plan. We had a good defensive game plan going on with my playing deep. It was a great game. Hats off to K9. They just wasn't ready.
Yeah, I mean, you guys played. Go ahead.
It was a really good comeback, and there were 2 points in the game where it just looked like, oh, it's going to be a K9 win with how they were playing, like going up 14-0 early on in the game. And then right after you got the pick, it ended up being a safety, where the 2 points in the game where K9 just had so much momentum, and you guys just kept your heads down and pushed through it and came back both times.
We never let it shake us. You should have heard the comms. Our morale was always 1000%. After I got that safety, I said, boys, look at them on offense. They're struggling to move the ball. We're playing K9. This is the team that throws 50s and just mosses everybody. And look what they're doing. They're getting 2-yard, 1-yard gains. I knew I had them. We knew we had them when we seen them in the second half. And once I got that pick on Sparks, like, even though the safety came right after, I had so much momentum that I just, like, it didn't matter.
Yeah, that was a huge interception from you right there.
Oh yeah,
I
it
think
was.
that right there,
Dude,
like
I'm not even
even
good at
though
catching, bro.
I
That's just game time.
I mean, you have to put up a big play when the play is needed, and even though you got the safety
Exactly.
after, but you guys were able to flip the script and take it down the next time you got the drive going and score the touchdown, and it just it put the icing on the cake.
You guys enjoy the game?
Oh,
we-
absolutely,
Let's
The
go,
game
man.
is incredible.
absolutely. I know
But
we
yo,
also
I just want
got
to shout out to somebody. Shout out to Wazzy. He called all this happening way back in the day. There's a clip. It says Wazzy says MVP's Apple stock, and he was not lying. I tell you that.
dude. Wazzy's the goat. Wazzy's a goat.
He's the
But
GOAT.
we also got Regis in here. Regis,
Yo,
you had the most tackles in the game on your team. All right. You had 2 sacks. One of the sacks ended up causing the pick that MVP got from that comeback in the middle. I mean, dude, you guys were playing out of your mind on that line. How did you guys prepare to go up against his line?
yeah. Again, just same game plan as always. Pressure the quarterback. Stay off the shields as best as we can. Stay off the shields. You don't get bashed. You get around them easily. Curve.
Yo, shout out to
Curve
Bouse,
dash.
man. Filling in, coming in
Bouse.
mid-season, playing out of his mind.
Mind. Out
Great
of his
player.
mind.
Great player right there in Bouse, man.
Yeah, that was a huge pickup by you guys, honestly. Like,
Nah, but
huge.
when we were down 14-0, what was chat looking like? Because I didn't look at it. Everybody said it was over.
Chat was all over the place, honestly.
yeah,
I'm gonna be
chat-
honest with
chat
you.
was
Chat,
using
chat
a lot
was
of-
all.
Chat was spamming a lot.
Yeah, there was spam in the chat. There was some spam in the chat.
It was all the it was like spam this thing to help out whoever. And I think it was all the
I can't wait to watch the stream, man. Thanks for streaming the game, guys. You guys are
oh
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Always
guys
do.
did-
You
yeah,
guys
shout
always
out-
do a
yeah.
phenomenal
Shout
job,
out
man.
to-
Awesome.
Shout out to
Super
all the
Camera.
casters.
Shout out to the
By the
whole
way.
gridiron game,
Just
riding
every-
keys. Thank you
this
for the
whole
skin.
season.
Let's go.
Yeah, you guys got a good skin.
Yeah, the skin is dope. I might have to
Thank
come
you,
pop
thank
the
you.
drip.
You're
'cause,
gonna have to get
I
some.
might have to
season-
sign.
Yeah,
I
you're,
might- I
you're
might
gonna have to
come
get
pop
some
that drip,
season
dude.
2 champs
Yo,
on that
this
shoulder
is
pad though.
surreal, bro. I don't even feel like a champion, bro. I can't believe it.
I'm
Well,
still
man,
shaking in my chair right now.
Listen,
Heart
it-
beating.
it's real, and you guys definitely deserved it. You guys played awesome football today, and don't
Man, I mean, bro, look at my name. That's all it is, bro.
MVP.
You-
MVP.
you played great, man. You
Thank you,
had
man. Thank
you passed the ball around to all your receivers. You put up 120 rushing yards. Your passing yards 245, but
I knew that going deep on K9 is not the way.
it's not the way.
It's not the way. It's just
It's
not the way.
way.
You want to be K9, you have to grind them down. You
Mhm.
have to.
Yeah, you really do.
I
'cause-
watched the title K9 game, watched a lot of film on that, and I seen that the title had so much chances to put them away. They were playing better than them. It's just they started to get greedy and throw the ball deep and stuff when Shaq could have just ran it out.
Yeah, when you start giving them momentum when you do that, because then they're like,
Exactly.
okay,
You're playing into their own hands.
yeah, they love that. When
Like, they
whenever
have
you're throwing
The
deep.
best 50 years in the game, arguably, besides because he's on our team. But you got Doomy, you got Vanilla, you got Sparks. They're all dogs. You throw the ball up, they're gonna come down with it 9 out of 10 times. So
Yeah,
you grind them down, rely on my linemen, and what a fucking game, man! Awesome. I'm at loss of words.
it's hey,
Me too, bro.
100% understandable. I mean, I didn't even want to look at the screen when Jipper threw that ball into the back of the end zone, and then all of a sudden I heard it hit the turf, and I was confused because
I'm not
I
gonna
really
lie.
I wasn't
For a
looking.
second,
I
bro.
wasn't looking.
For a second, I thought it was over, man. They got what they wanted. They got the 50. They had the
Yeah.
50 bots. I was next to Doomy, and I was like, oh shit, why am I next to Doomy? Why am I the closest guy next to Doomy? And this is not good.
Yeah, yeah.
But
know.
You
thank
guys
God
opt-
Jipper overthrew. Thank
Yeah, so
the
you,
heavens.
so you guys opted to go for complete coverage in the end zone instead of going for the 4-man.
Yeah, that was probably the wrong call, to be honest. But the line made that call. We trusted the line. It worked out. So
Yeah, they almost pushed him back. Jipper is one of the most elusive
50th
QBs
guys,
in the
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to lock him down, which is why I thought a 4-man would come out. But I mean, even then, just three-manning, Jipper was almost pushed back out of reach. He was just
Exactly.
barely
I
able
feel
to
like that
flip
messed
through
the
him.
mojo up. You know, like the play took very long. If you notice, it was
Yeah.
a very long play.
It was. And I think it was because you guys did get pressure, but they left Sparks down there to help. And it actually benefited them because if Sparks was out there, I mean, Vortex almost had a sack.
Yeah, he was gone.
Yeah, he was like 2 steps away from getting a sack. But
Without
then
that Sparks chip, it's over.
yeah,
Bro.
yeah. So go ahead.
And the clock management at the end of the game, taking your time to pick those plays at the end of the drive was just god tier.
Dude, I think I threw one deep ball all game. It was a comeback go to Pokey where I threw a laser beam on a rope.
Yeah, that was an
the
absolute
only
dot.
deep ball game, deep ball all game. That was it. I played so conservative. There was probably guys running open, but I was just like, let me not, you know what I'm saying? We're in control right now. Let's just keep it slow and steady, get the dub, go home
Yeah,
my ring.
Yeah.
Even just waiting to pick the play so time ticks down so K9 doesn't get another chance.
Right. Yo,
Even-
my whole team was screaming at me. My whole team was like, yo, waste the clock 10 seconds every huddle. I was like, hell yeah.
Mhm.
So
I mean, I want to give a personal shout out to Pokey myself because you know everybody talks about like my dude. Pokey is the truth.
bro,
Yes, sir.
Pokey this
Goes
playoffs, bro.
insane. He
Oh my
goes
God.
insane. That
Bro,
man,
he might be the playoff MVP. You're right. You're 100% right.
he is a difference maker on a whole nother level.
That's my
and
boy, bro.
I
Since
feel
day
like-
Even
one.
better.
Yeah, he is a great player. His game sense is ginormous.
It is, bro. He has a big ass
absolutely
brain.
ginormous. And he played such a great game tonight, and he played such
Perfect.
a great game in the last game and the game before that. He is a great player,
Fresh off of work too.
fresh out of work.
Fresh
See,
out of work, bro.
Yeah, see, that's insane.
Like, dude, this
Oh.
kid, like, he does not care who you are. Do mean, vanilla, he does not care who you are. He is, in his head, he's the best receiver in the game, and that's why he's such a good player. And he's very underappreciated. Everybody looks at Mai. Nah, bro. Pokey is just like he's just as good as Mai, and I think Mai is the best receiver in the league. That's my opinion. But
Yeah,
Pokey,
Pokey-
he's right there. He's top 3, top 5.
Yeah. Pokey is a great player. But listen, guys, I want you guys to give your last shout outs. You know, I want you guys to be able to go celebrate with the team. You guys
Of course,
played
man.
out of your mind tonight, and congrats.
Thank you.
Shouts
thank
out.
you.
Yeah.
I got one shout out to my boy Hostilius X Flow. The first signing of Pubstar, first signing I ever made for my team was Hostilius Flow, the running back. Morale support, been here through it all. That's my boy. That's it for me, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Thank you, Regis. Anybody you want to shout out?
My team, bro.
That's what I'm talking
All of
about.
them.
All right.
They
And-
they fight.
Yeah, chat, let's get some Shinigami champs and MVP.
MVP.
Spam in the chat.
MVP.
Let's get
All
some
right, boys.
MVP
Go.
spam in the chat.
Thanks for the stream, guys. I'm gonna go
Yo.
celebrate.
No problem, guys.
And
Thank
K9
you.
pack bussin', boy.
Austin. Thank you guys. Peace out.
See you, man. Wow, what a great game. What a way to.
Fantastic game.
I mean, that's it, chat. Just like that, Shinigami taking the championship. They got the border. They got their jerseys. They looked clean out there. And at the end of the day, we're going to end up in another season. And hopefully these guys stick around with the same team because they look like a problem.
Yes, sir. So that is going to wrap it up for us. Another great season coming down to the wire, last second 50 to end the game. I couldn't ask for an end to a season like this. With the way
Really kind of.
with the way playoffs shaped out, I mean, the title K9 where K9 comes back and then Shinigami versus PO and then Shinigami Cloud9 for the championship. Just incredible gameplay throughout the playoffs and throughout the season.
Yeah. I mean, they overcame after losing your first game in the season. your very first game to someone that's in your division, that is the toughest loss that you have to overcome, knowing that, dang, we lost our first game and we don't even get to see them again until possibly the playoffs. And they were able to play them in the playoffs and win on a big stage to get to the championship and win against one of the biggest powerhouses in the game, K9, and to end it on defense with those guys as your wide receivers on K9. It's a great feeling. Definitely a great feeling. Congrats again on a great game.
Is this championship game the third instant classic in GFA? Because you had Title OP, you had IP Alien. Is this a classic?
I believe so. I think both teams played very good. There was a couple lead changes, which is always great. I mean, they came back from 14-0 early. And then the last play, the last play is what made it just insane, because for it to be overthrown and you don't even get to give your wide receivers a chance, it's just so unfortunate. So unfortunate. It was a hair overthrown. And just like that, it's over. Like one throw.
Yeah,
Alright.
I don't think there was any doubt, but MVP. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt, but MVP definitely is the MVP of the Grid Bowl. It is officially announced.
It's officially announced. MVP, if you're listening, man, congrats. You are the Grid Bowl MVP. You came up, man, from the rough and took it all the way to the finals, bro. Congrats, man.
And I think that's about it for us. If there's anything else that you want to say, Khan?
No, I'm good, man. I'm just happy that we got a great game. That was a great game.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's going to pretty much do it for us. Thank you all for coming out and supporting the stream, watching the season 2 finale, and we will see you guys all in season 3.